as the breath that is now on the back of Pep Guardiola's neck. And we hope that he flinches. We hope he's creeped out by this red vampire that's still there, its fangs close to his jugular. I'm delighted to be joined by Nigel, by Abdul, and by Brian. Absolutely wonderful that you're here, guys. Nigel, I'm going to start with you because that was a very, very tough win. We needed to grind it out. It was a banana skin that was very bright and yellow, and we saw it. We picked it up and we chucked it in front of Pep's, slick city bus, and we hope they spin on it. This is before they play Leeds United, if you're listening to the audio version. How are you doing, Nigel? What do you think of that result?
Yeah, I thought we were, when the team came out, it was a little bit, kind of squeaky bum time, kind of. But we handled it very well. They came out kind of trying to have a go at us the first 5-10 minutes, all guns blazing, trying to break us down because of the changes, I think. But I have to say, all four of our defenders and our goalkeeper were absolutely magnificent. Any of them could have been man of the match. They were fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
They were indeed. And we're going to get into the performances soon. Luke is here. He's just jumped in from Australia. You might have to unmute your mic. Maybe I can do it remotely. Yeah, I can do that remotely. How are you doing, Luke? Really nice to see you. Welcome to Cop On. What time is it over there? 2:00 or something like that?
Yeah, it's about 2 a.m. Welcome, guys. I'm just watching the end to the Watford Burnley game, and I've just blamed Burnley on, Everton. Like, God, Burnley should have been doing a lot better than they are. And I'm a big proponent of us winning the quintuple. Everyone talks about the quad, but to me, it's about winning the quintuple.
To see the end of those
and it's pretty easy. Come on, work it out. League Cup, FA Cup.
Yes.
Premier League. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. You all know what I'm talking about. How good would it be if Everton got relegated? And Burnley right now are playing like a bunch of morons. So they're upsetting me. Anyway, I digress. Hi, guys. Good win today against the Magpies.
Whoa. I lost the connection. I think I'm back. I think it's, I don't know. I was just saying, I don't want to ask for too much. The gods have been good to us this season, and to ask for Everton to go down, it would be, if karma exists, then surely something bad will happen. But I don't know, maybe not. We won't go down thinking that those negative ways. I mean, Luke, it was a great result today. Were you bricking it for those last 10 minutes, or was it okay?
I was nervous. I think we were all nervous. Let's be honest. I don't think any Liverpool fan was thinking we're going to cruise through this. I was nervous, but at the same time, and this is the thing. Our defence is so solid now that you can be nervous, yet at the same time be fairly confident that we'll hold the opposition out. So there's this sort of what's the word I'm looking for? This contradiction of thinking. Because some of us are so we're so used to not being so solid that we always think the worst, but at the same time, we're actually so good now that there's this feeling of calm that should come across us. But it's hard to feel like that because of our conditioning, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. It's absolutely brilliantly well said. Brian's nodding in agreement there. Brian, were you have you been conditioned by the many years of relative failure compared to these glory years, or did you just look at the magnificence of Virgil and all was calm in your brain?
Yeah, you know what? I hear what Luke's saying, and I totally understand. And but I think that's where we've moved on as a team in recent years. In years gone by, that game we probably would have walked away with 1-1 more times than not, because what would happen usually is with each particular sitter or really good chance that we missed, a nervousness would come into our game, and it just didn't come today. We just kept our cool. We played.
Burnley have scored!
Excellent stuff. Nigel's running away for the audio podcast. He's going to shout. He's running down the road. He's probably taking all kind of clothes off. Excellent stuff.
Now I realise what's going on. Yeah, Burnley, Everton.
Sorry, I just got a bit excited.
No,
that's all right. Go for it. Go for it, Luke. But yeah, no, I think we're scary right now, and I think City must be breaking themselves, because this team are not showing any nerves. They're not blinking. They're meeting every challenge so professionally, and Jesus, man, we're like 6 games away from immortality, and looking like we've got a good chance of it as well. So no, I actually wasn't nervous. I'm nervous at every game, because I don't care who we're playing against. We still have to go and win the game. But no, the boys were just so solid, and they didn't look like they were going to throw it away at any stage today, I thought.
Absolutely brilliant. No, I mean, they didn't, Abdul, did they? I mean, I don't know. There was a solidity there. Time was ticking. Old lady time was sort of hobbled around for the last 10 minutes. But I wasn't really in doubt. I wasn't that much in doubt. In fact, I didn't even doubt when I saw the team sheet. I mean, Milner, I had to read it about 3 or 4 times that was actually Milner's name on the starting lineup. But I didn't doubt him. How did you feel when you saw the lineup, with Gomez, with Millie there? What did you make of it, Abdul?
Yeah, I was hoping that there would be more, to be honest. I think the schedule over the last few weeks has been very, very hectic, and any kind of opportunity that we have to rest players, I was looking forward to Klopp taking 100% full advantage of that. So I was happy to see Milner in there. I was happy to see Gomez in there. And yeah, I was happy to see Salah get a bit of a rest as well, because he just wants to play every single game. But yeah, I think the result probably proved, and also possibly the nerves towards the end from some fans, not yourselves, that it was the right amount of rotation. I think anything more, and it might have made the match a bit dangerous. I thought Andy Robertson was absolutely just glorious. I think he's playing possibly the best football of his career so far, with this last few fixtures, like Brian was saying, we're 6 matches away from immortality. And I think he's gone into another gear, basically. So if we had played Costas, it might have been a bit risky today. Yeah, it was glad to see Henderson put in a really fine performance at 6, with Fabinho getting a bit of a rest today. And I thought Jota as well was a bit of an unsung hero today. I thought he did really, really well without getting a goal, which is surprising because it's usually the other way around. He gets the goal without doing so much other work. But yeah, I was glad to see Milner in there. I thought he had a fantastic performance. Great tackle in the build-up to our goal. So yeah, really, really good showing from the squad in general again.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Milner, I mean, the man's a machine. No, hang on. Nigel, you need to unmute your mic there and tell us what's going on. What's going on? Hang on.
To echo Luke's previous sentiments, Burnley have scored again.
No way! It's 2-1.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yes, it's jelly and ice cream time. Jelly and ice cream for everybody.
With 4 minutes to go.
And the
What was that word, Luke? Quintuple.
That's the quintuple, Luke. It's on. It's on. Absolutely wonderful. It's on. Absolutely superb. So yeah, Milner. I mean, while Everton are, going down as we speak, this is all joyous stuff. James Milner was absolutely magnificent. I mean, they call him El Burro, the donkey, or El Burro Magnifico, or El Burrito Delicioso, the delicious burrito. Because he had 48 passes in the match with a 86% passing accuracy, 4 key passes, the most in the match, 4 tackles, 4 duels won, and he was just brilliant. Brian, I mean, James Milner, I've listened to podcasts and they've written him off. There was one podcast I listened to and they said, I hope he never plays for us again after his last performance. They can all piss off because I freaking love the guy.
Which podcast
exactly.
is that? Tell me.
I'm not going to name and shame, but it was one.
Name and shame, please.
No, I can't. I mean, it's just, otherwise they had some pretty good analysis.
It was the Anfield rap. Tell the truth, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't those good old lads at the Anfield rap. It was someone else. But it was.
He talks absolute shite sometimes.
Jimmy was immense. Absolutely immense.
Yeah, he was immense. What did you make of it, Brian? What did you make of James Milner? Were you keeping a close eye on him, Brian?
I was, man. I was. Yeah. I mean, what can you say about that performance? What can you say about that guy? He's just unbelievable. He just keeps proving us all wrong. Every game I was looking at him thinking I never want him to leave the club ever. Like even when he decides to finish playing, which I don't think it will be this season, I don't think it'll be next season. I think he'll have another season next year. He's every year he comes back to pre-season training and he's the fittest guy in the squad. It's nuts. And that's what I like about our team at the moment, and I like about our club, is that we've got a squad full of top players. You've got James Milner not on the bench. Sometimes he's not even on the bench. He's just in the squad. And that's the kind of players that we can call upon now when we're chasing after 4 different titles. He was magnificent. And he always puts a tackle in every game. I haven't seen a single James Milner game where he hasn't let somebody know what time it was. And, I'm surprised him and John Joe didn't get into it. I was expecting that at some stage in the game, but no, he was just magnificent. And his tackle to set up the goal, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It wasn't a foul, was it, Nigel? No way in, even in Mike Riley's wildest, delightful, dreams, weird dreams. That is never a foul. It was just a brilliant tackle. And then, Naby lad, what a finish. What a performance by brilliant. Naby lad as well.
Fantastic. He was great. He was absolutely brilliant. Back to the tackle for a second. Clearly got the ball with his studs before the Newcastle guy actually kicked him more than he kicked the Newcastle guy.
Exactly.
The guy, the lady who was on BT, the amount of people giving out about her during the game was incredible. She was all over the place. Just the way she was going on, everything seemed to be anti-Liverpool. Okay. This could easily be a free, and they were showing that the face-on angle where you don't see Milner kicking the ball with his studs, where you don't actually see the little flick of the ball with the studs and the guy following through in the back with his back leg coming through in on Milner's thigh. Mm-hmm. But she was poor. And the guy Fletch doing the commentary, God, he was awful. But back to that again. Naby was outstanding. I thought he was really good. I said on the group earlier on that I thought we could have had 6 or 7 guys who get man of the match. We had a quick chat before, and I said all the back 4. Magnificent. We were under pressure the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and the ball came down the wing. I think it was to Saint-Maximin, and he kind of Matip got in close to him and stuck the leg out and clipped the ball away from him, and that kind of set the tone for the whole game. I thought Joel Matip was magnificent. Joe Gomez was out of this world fantastic. People saying Trent is the best right back in the world. and he can't defend. Well, Joe Gomez might be the best defensive right back in the world then. If Trent is the best attacking right back in the world. Joe Gomez was absolutely fabulous. Never put a foot wrong all day. Put in some half-decent crosses as well, mind you. Naby was brilliant. Naby was just... It's like the game against Manchester United again, the first game, the 5-0 at Old Trafford. They just couldn't handle him. They just couldn't. He just overran them all day. He just ran past them and just they weren't able for him.
It's particularly joyful, isn't it, Luke, to see Naby Lad, he's fitter. He looks fitter than he's ever been. He's been working on his upper body strength. He looks like, unstoppable, Look, what do you reckon?
Naby Lad was brilliant, but there's something that hasn't been mentioned, and that was that the Mackem was man of the match, in my opinion, against the Geordies. And the skipper was fucking unbelievable. He was a man on a mission, in my opinion. Jordan Henderson, and for all the crappy cops from certain elements of Liverpool fans, and we perhaps shouldn't even call them Liverpool fans because they don't obviously watch what he does. But against Newcastle United, Jordan Henderson was supreme, and it should have come as no surprise that it was the Mackem, and a Sunderland born and bred guy rose to the occasion against Newcastle United, and a shout out to him because Jordan was amazing.
Totally, yeah, well said.
And yes, Naby Lad, he if he stays fit, and it's the inverted commas, if he stays fit, isn't it? If he stays fit, he is brilliant, and he seems to be getting better. But we can't forget the old guard. Jimmy Milner, Jordan Henderson. Like, Milner was fantastic, but Henderson, he just shut it all down, and his distribution when he has the ball is just fantastic. And he doesn't get the credit from some people that he should get, because he was man of the match, in my opinion. So there we go.
It's a great answer, and it's a very good point. I mean, especially in the first half, I was looking at passing accuracy from the first half. He had 95.9% passing accuracy, Thiago-esque, in the first half in that 6. He was controlling the match, controlling the tempo in the way that he does, and he was. You're absolutely right. He ended the match with 91.7% passing accuracy, but I think that's because he was taking a few more risks in that second half with one-touch passing and trying to play slightly longer balls to get our attackers free. Absolutely. I mean, there are so many performances we can talk about, but I want to go through moments of the match just to see. Because you see what we can talk about, what comes out of the different moments. Because I've got a hell of a lot of notes because it was a good match, I thought. In the first half, the first thing was when Alisson had a heavy touch after 1 minute and 43 seconds, Abdul, and then Mane slipped, and it led to a bouncing John Joe Shelby shot that was fortunately straight into Alisson's arms. And then Virgil had a long ball that was a bit too long in the 3rd minute. But then the moment that set the tone for the rest of the match was on 3 minutes and 10 seconds when Alan San-Maxima, who we've seen this season rip it up against Gomez. And Gomez, I mean, he had him for breakfast. He didn't even chew. He just swallowed him right down. And you're right. I mean, I think you mentioned Gomez before. You were praising the defense, but that matchup of Gomez versus Alan San-Maxima, I mean, Gomez was was terrific. Abdul, was that? I mean, there's are we getting like a fresh Joe Gomez for the last few games? Can that be a big deal for us, Abdul?
I think this season there's been a lot of talk about Joe Gomez, talking about he needs to maybe leave the club, find somewhere else so that he can get first team minutes at centre back. There's been criticism when he's played at right back sometimes, because obviously there's a difference to the kind of performances that he can put in compared to Trent. I mean, Trent is the best right back in the world, and Joe Gomez isn't that. So there's been a lot of talk around Joe Gomez. But yeah, I think the last few games, the last few performances that he's put in, has been incredibly assured defensively, but also on the ball as well. He's really showed his full range of qualities. I think he's a magnificent footballer in every regard. He has a great cross on him. I don't think there's any kind of real weakness in him going forward. Just maybe he isn't quite so used to going forward as Trent is. And again, Trent is the best right back in the world, so it's not really fair to kind of hold Joe Gomez to that standard. There's been a lot of talk from certain fans about we need to potentially bring in a backup right back in a similar kind of vein to what we did with Kostas Tsimikas coming in and providing a real quality and depth at right back. And I think these performances from Joe Gomez have rightly, I think, quietened down that chat. I think Joe is a fantastic player for our squad. He's a great human being, and I hope he stays at Liverpool for a very, very long time.
Excellent stuff. Nigel's trying to show something. Yes, 2-1 is the final score. 2-1 at Watford. Jack Cork got the equaliser and Brownhill with the winner. And presumably Brownhills are the kind of things that will be appearing under Everton bottoms, Brian, because it looks like they're going down.
Yeah, you know what? A couple of weeks ago, I was like, I hope they stay up. I enjoy the comedy of that fixture and the derby. But after their massive shithousery in the last game, the anti-turgid football that they played, and the fact that it's Frank, and I just think his career just took him a nosedive the minute he told Jurgen, beautiful club, to fuck off on the touchline. Karma's a bitch. And it's all going tits up now, because I think Everton will be the biggest club ever to go down. And I can't see them getting much out of the fixtures that they've got coming up, right? And look, with Burnley, unbelievable what they're doing there. So yeah, they go down. It's I'll celebrate. I'll crack open the jelly. I'll open up the really good ice cream, and I'll have a massive bowl, and then I'll follow them with glee in the championship, and that would be fun. 2 games a week, getting kicked up and down the country. Awesome.
I mean, they haven't won a trophy since 1995. I mean, it looks like the championship trophy might be their best hope, or maybe even the League One trophy in a few years once they drop down. But no, that's absolutely super. We've got a few comments coming in. Johnny Retro says Milner was excellent, and you're absolutely right, Johnny. Gary Richards said Naby Lad was fire. Hendo was brilliant, and the Ribena man was great as well. It was a really good performance today. It was really, really good. So I mean, going through the notes, I mean, we're only on after 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Jota made a lovely run up the line, and it was a free kick, but no booking. I thought it could have been a booking, that one, but Jota then, he had good position for a second ball just 40 seconds later from the second ball after it was our corner. Dan Burns sort of half headed it, but straight to Jota. He chested it down and had that little snapshot that was over. He was very lively without scoring. He ended up with an assist today, but he had 5 shots, which is the most in our team. 4 of them on target, Nigel. Diogo Jota, as Abdul has already said, he was low key. He had a very decent game today. He was all over the place and causing them headaches.
Yeah, Jota's been playing. It's hard to know with him sometimes. He'd been scoring a few goals, but not playing particularly well. He just pop up and score a goal, and that's all he do. Well, it's great. Don't mind him doing that, but he was very involved today. I thought he had a good game. We just need to be more clinical. I thought Diaz was amazing as well today. He was terrorizing them guys down the wing. He just like I was thinking about it earlier on, and I thought this guy's like a rubber ball. He's down, he's up, he's down, he's up, he's down, he's up. He's all over the place. He's bouncing off everything. He's all over the place. Like, he's just a fantastic player.
Absolutely, he is all over the place. But I mean, you know, presumably he's not in your first choice front three, though, Nigel, is he? Because the new front three: Diaz, Mane, and Salah.
Diaz is not in my front three, or
sorry. No, because you were talking about Diaz. Sorry, but
sorry.
Excuse me. Yeah, but you know, what is your front three basically?
My front three at the moment would have to be probably Salah, Mane, and Diaz.
Yes,
I think at the moment. I think just because basically you can't leave Salah out. Sadio Mane has looked like he'd been playing on the left since he played his first game and scored on his debut against Arsenal in that 4-3 win a few years ago. He'd been playing kind of on the left-hand side up to month and a half ago, and he's gone inside and has looked absolutely fantastic. He's done really, really well for us. He's scored some goals. He's put on some assists. Been great, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's 9 goals and 2 assists in 11 games as a number 9. Which
doesn't deserve to be dropped.
He doesn't deserve
to
be dropped.
DS just gives us that complete, well, for want of a better word, X factor.
Yeah,
he's just completely. Nobody knows what he's going to do, and it just when he's running at people, they look absolutely scared out of their minds. He's just dropping the shoulder either way, and holding possession, keeping the ball, going back, winning the ball all the time. So at the moment, we're in a good place.
We are absolutely stacked. We're stacked like the shelves of Asda on a Sunday morning. Luke, when I mentioned the front three, the new front three, if you like, of Mane, Diaz, and Salah, I've noticed you smiled. You broke into a smile there, Luke, because these guys are just terrific, aren't they? With Jota as well. I mean, in terms of attacking options, we are loaded, fully loaded.
I'm smiling now as we think about it, and look, I think it gets down to a horses for courses sort of scenario that we're so stacked that it doesn't really matter who we select as our front three. You know, and can I pose the question to all of you? Would you be upset if Divi was chosen in the front three? I don't think anyone would be upset. Yet he's on the outer, isn't he? He's like this Johnny come lately that comes in and scores a couple of goals when it matters. But, you know, his record is absolutely superb. And when you look at Luis Diaz, Bobby Firmino, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, the quality is so damn good that it really shouldn't concern people who starts up front for Liverpool, because you can almost guarantee whoever does will get the job done.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, it's only one goal today, and that's unusual, Abdul. With not only the amount of shots we had today, but if you put it in the context of the season, where we're averaging 3 goals per match, which is something that's under the radar, I think, of a lot of people. Where just how many we're scoring is completely nuts. Was there a little bit of, were you a little bit disappointed sometimes, Abdul, with the finishing, or just, whatever, we got the 3 points and, move on to the next one. Next time we'll bag a couple more?
No, absolutely. It was, it contributed to the nerves, I would say, towards the end. You did feel like we needed a second goal or even a third just to be completely comfortable, make some early subs, get some players off, get some rest for rotation purposes. But yeah, I think ultimately I didn't mind how it goes in. The most important thing about today was getting the 3 points so that we could sit back right now like we are, put on the Leeds v City match and let them feel the nerves for the next 2 hours. Looking at the Premier League table, Leeds are now 17th. They are just above the drop zone after that Burnley win. And they actually need a result right now, which means hopefully they're going to bring their A game today. They really cannot afford a loss, I don't think. So, yeah, really, really hoping that these Leeds players are really ready to give it to Pep's team.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, as we're recording this, it's 25 minutes to go. We've got a few more comments coming in. We've got 25 minutes to kick off for Man City against Leeds. I do think they'll smash Leeds, to be honest. Johnny says Everton are going down in the chat. There you go. And What's for Dinner says, I thought Owen would be more Waitrose in my choice of supermarket. And I said, no, I'm a man of the people. Jeannie's in the chat. Hello, Jeannie. Just very succinctly, put going down. Maybe I should sing it. Going down, 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 going down. And it does look that way, which is very exciting. But Leeds United, it does matter. Their matches matter because after today, very difficult for them. They got Arsenal away, they got Chelsea at home, they got Brighton at home, and Brentford away. Brentford seem like the kind of team to me that would be on the beach early because they got nothing to play for. So hopefully that would help them, and Brighton will help them. But 3 points today would be great. Brian, do you give them a hope in hell? I don't give them a hope in any of the circles of Dante's hell in getting even a point today, Brian. I don't know. Are you hopeful?
I don't know. I mean, I've always felt that when City fuck up, it'll be a game that we're not expecting. You always look at the fixture list and go, oh, that's the one they're going to go. And it's the one that you don't expect. It's just like it's a team that have nothing to play for suddenly turn up like Barcelona, or, when Barcelona used to be good, and turn up like Liverpool, should we say, and play them off the park. But I don't know. I'm starting to kind of smell, City shitting themselves from the last couple of days, weeks. With their injuries, they're mounting up, and their back line has looked more and more shaky. The game against Real Madrid, whilst it was very entertaining, it was an absolute car wreck of a show for the defenders, right? It was and I don't know if you guys seen Pep's interview yesterday, but he even the fact that Klopp signed a new extension, I just felt like it was irritating him. It's like everything is going our way right now, and City are really feeling it. Like they're in a proper game in the Champions League. He hasn't rotated his team. I don't know about you guys, but I get the impression he just he's been putting out his strongest team for the longest time, whereas we really have been resting legs and rotating heavily. So I think that's where we have the advantage now. I think we have a better squad. They're in much better condition. And Leeds is my old man, bless him's team. So he'll be, if we need a miracle, it's going to come from Leeds. And what's the guy's name, the manager? Ted Lasso. Ted
Yeah.
Lasso, yeah. He's gonna play. He's gonna put the kickball in the net, and we're all going to have a great time.
Leeds have
Excellent
just
stuff.
potentially got a bit of an injury in the warm up. I think Stuart
Oh,
Dallas.
gosh.
So yeah,
Oh no, one of their best players. Okay.
yeah. So
It started already. The
but,
disappointment. Okay. Okay. Thanks for the update. I'm sure lots of people who are listening to the audio version of this already know the 11-0 scoreline to Man City, and that's pretty much what I'm expecting. But thanks for the updates. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, Divock Origi, just because Luke mentioned him before, was he's in the Premier League. He's got 3 goals in 107 minutes. Would you believe? And he had 1 goal and 1 assist in 187 Champions League minutes. So that's 1 goal contribution per match, if you want to extrapolate it into a match. And in the FA Cup, he's played 83 minutes and it has got 1 assist. I mean, he's an absolute genius, Divock, and as the 6th choice, we could not ask for any more. But going back to the match today, in the first half, different things that stuck out to me. There was the second good tackle by Milner after 5 minutes, but then there was that was a moment when there was a great tackle by Milner. It broke to Joe Linton, but he was offside. And that was something I wanted to mention, Nigel, was how brilliant, even though Joe Gomez came into the, he's not usually in the back four, the offside line today was brilliant. It was so well organised.
Yeah. And I'd just like to say again, the commentators, the way they go on, oh, what a chance this is, this, that, and the other.
Were they doing that?
Good. Oh, yeah. And then the flag goes up. Oh, the flag is up. These late flags are causing absolute havoc. I've been expecting somebody to get seriously injured through one of these things, the flag not going up and the lad going running on and colliding with the goalkeeper or something like that and putting the guy out for months on end because of these late flags not going up. Because half the time the linesmen or whoever or the referees don't have a clue what they're doing. I'd just like to have a little comment there on what all Liverpool fans should do if Everton do get relegated. Ring your local radio station and put in a request and ask for Down Down by Status Quo, which happens to be one of my favourite songs, by the way. Status Quo's only number 1, 1975.
Well, there you go. Excellent stuff. We've got great footy chat and sort of, rock and roll history on Cop On Podcast today. This is great. It's blowing my mind. There's another song. I think it's just called Going Down, and it's a blues song from the 1970s.
Yes, you played it. Well. Somebody played it. Did you play it the other night?
I shared it on the WhatsApp group, yes. And it was, just because I found it. So, request what you like. What's for Dinner says, the only thing with Everton, my concern, sorry, I'm showing the wrong comment on screen. My concern about Everton being relegated is the jobs at the new stadium. That's true. And possible jobs at Goodison and fan shops, tourism to the city would go down. I agree, apart from tourism to the city, because who wants to come and see Everton, really? Not many people, surely, Luke. But going back to the game,
just
Luke,
thinking of Bramley Moore, Doc. I mean, come on, guys, really. It's going to be the biggest white elephant that's ever existed in football, surely.
You would think so, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There was a stadium built in the Czech Republic, I know because I used to live there, called Strahov Stadium, built for the Olympics on top of a hill in Prague, one of the 5 hills, or maybe 6 or 7 hills, I can't remember. And beautiful, massive 80,000 seat or standing stadium. And it was never used until AC/DC played there. And I went to watch them back in 2001. And it was brilliant. I'm digressing a little bit, but that was a great day out. I went there with my brother. And there were more mullets per square meter than, Nigel's showing his beautiful locks here as well. I love them, the mullet. There are all kinds. There was like a sort of waterfall, the Kentucky waterfall, as they call it. And,
you need to come to Australia.
Oh, man, are you telling me? Oh, yeah.
If you're talking AC/DC and mullets, you need to come to Australia. We are the kings.
I'm going.
Look
Absolutely.
up a guy, actually, Owen, just to tell you, if you want to see a really great mullet, look up a guy called Ryan Pappenhausen, who plays for the Melbourne
Pappy.
Storm.
Pappy,
Best mullet of all time.
is the best.
I mean, that's high praise. I'm going to do it right now. Ryan Pappenhausen. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking Auntie Google right now. Oh my word! Look at him. He's an Australian professional rugby league footballer who plays as a fullback for the Melbourne Storm. And my word, is that the name of his haircut as well? The Melbourne Storm. Absolutely magnificent. Wow. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, we're supposed to be talking about football. In that first half, I mean, there was, various things happened before the goal. There was a great cross by Joe Gomez. It was good defending by Kraft, and then Manny was offside anyway, so that doesn't count as a chance. Virgil had a few long balls that were just slightly overhit. Gomez, I noticed his position was very high, which was good. We were very much taking up the Trent winger position. And, Allison had a long ball that he chased, and, he thought about doing a Cruyff turn again, but decided against it. And then the goal, Luke. Keita, wonderful finish after Millie wins it back. The actual goal, the way he rolled it under his foot and smashed it right between the Newcastle players. I mean, I know it's late in Australia, but were you sort of leaping out of your chair? And
It's a 2:15 in the morning, and I'm still here and I'm still alive. But what gets me with that goal and the passage of play, as good as the finish from Naby Lad was, a few people have mentioned it. It was Millie's tackle. That when you rewind the play, it was that tackle from James Milner that gained us possession and allowed us to go forward and get that goal. And that sums up James Milner. He is a team player, and people like him are so valuable to our squad. People like Jordan Henderson. And I'm a big, and I'm going to rave on about it till the cows come home. I'm a massive fan of players that aren't the most flashy guys, but they go out there, they lace up the boots, and they play for their team. And James Milner and Jordan Henderson are two of those fellas that do that. And without those sort of footballers, we ain't going to win nothing. We're not going to win a thing without them.
You're absolutely right. I 100% agree with you. Absolutely wonderful. And if you listen to John Barnes and the great players from the great teams in our past, they will also wax lyrical about the importance of players like Steve McMahon and Ronnie Whelan and these kind of players who, yes, give their all for the team.
Nigel Spackman, Sammy Lee.
Precisely.
Those are Ian Callaghan.
We got a lot of them. We've got a lot of them in our glorious history. Yes, well said, Nigel. Well said. After the goal, what's great is that after the goal, Newcastle didn't look like scoring at all. I mean, I'm just looking at the rest of my notes. Did they have a single chance? I mean, in the first half, but no. There's a lot of Liverpool. They had no chances basically. And now, Abdullah, quite brilliant stat that I heard is this season we've been 1-0 up in 42 games, and we've won 38 of those 42 games after going 1-0 up. What's the secret in keeping sides at bay? In your opinion, is it like, just the fact that we press them all over the pitch, they can't get on the ball? I mean, what are the key factors, or one of the key factors, or some of the things that just mean we're so damn hard to come back, against in a match?
I think if we all turn our minds back to when Klopp came in the first few years, we had a lot of chaos around our teams. We had big, high-scoring matches where we weren't necessarily keeping clean sheets. And then obviously we made the signing of Van Dijk. And I think that was a bit of a turning point for our defensive, and also Andy Robertson as well, it's got to be said. A change in the mentality of the way that we defend situations. And I think it's pretty much that. I think the defense is the bedrock of our team. The centre-backs, I feel like they touch the ball more than any other players. And the kind of assurity that we get from Matip and Van Dijk in terms of our ball rotation, and so moving the ball around, and then also in defensive situations, I feel like it's kind of it kills the opposition mentally. I mean, if you're watching Joel Matip making a casual 40-yard vertical dash upright past your entire midfield, like a couple of times per match, if you're watching Van Dijk pinging a 70-yard ball diagonally straight onto the feet of Mo Salah, if you're watching Andy Robertson just making lung-bursting runs 90 minutes every single match, if you're watching Trent play like Kevin De Bruyne at his prime, which he still is in, like from right back, it must be soul-destroying as a opposition player to just watch such great footballers and then think, well, I have to put a goal past these guys. So I think there's maturity that's come from our play over the last few years. And I think that it comes from the quality of the individuals that we have, and then the quality of the play that we play together as a team. And then, yeah, on top of that, probably Fabinho, Henderson, Milner, the kind of example that they set in midfield. It's just all a mentality block thing, I think. So, yeah, I think that's probably why we don't concede so much, yeah, when we get into a winning position.
Absolutely. Yeah. Brilliantly. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. In terms of the tackles, I mean, Naby Keita had 3 tackles. Joe Gomez had 3 tackles. Millie had 4, as I said before, which is the most in the team. Robbo had 1. Joel Matip had 1. Virgil had none, as usual, because he didn't have to. And interceptions, Joe Gomez leads the list with 3 interceptions. Along with Andy Robbo, who also had 3. In terms of clearances, Joel Matip had 4, Virgil had 3, and then there's loads of players with 1 clearance. So, whenever Newcastle did approach our goal, we just got it away with the minimum of fuss, whoever was there. It's just the way we control matches is excellent. I mean, I counted 11 passes at one point. We're so patient when we go 1 up. 11 passes, and then we won a throw. Diaz won a throw, and then from that throw, we had another 11 passes, which led to a free kick in shooting range. And Hendo, Brian, absolutely, what's the word? Shanked it. It was like. It was quite funny, Brian, wasn't it? Trent had a good old laugh at it, and then Ibu looked at Trent like, you would have missed 2, as someone said on Twitter. But that was I don't know, one of the worst free kicks of the season.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't great, and Trent's reaction to it was hilarious. It was afterwards when he was looking in the camera. I mean, but hey. When we got that free kick, I immediately thought, well, this is a goal. This is in perfect Trent territory. And then I realized, oh shit, he's not on the pitch. Yeah. Then I thought, well, who's going to take it? And I literally didn't know who was going to take it. And then when the captain stood up, stepped up, and whatever. I mean, it's okay. He's allowed that. I wasn't expecting to go in, but it was pretty crap, though, to be fair. But we don't have a backup. I don't know who takes it. Who takes the free kicks? If I'm surprised Robbo doesn't have more shots.
Well, I'm surprised Virgil doesn't, because he used to take him for Celtic, and he scored a couple of goals. But it's important to know that I think it's very good to know that the best free kick takers of all times, all of this has been measured. And I believe it was Juninho Paulista from Lyon who was the best free kick taker. And he averaged, I think, 12 out of 100, 12% as the best free kick taker ever. So,
Yeah.
you know, like it's like with a corner. Apparently from corners you score from 2 out of 100. So it's worth, I mean, since learning these stats, it's worth bearing in mind when you get a corner. It's like, well, there's a 98% chance that this is going nowhere, this attack. But, you know, the crowd will still roar and you never know. And when you've got Ibu in your team, you never
Although we've
know.
scored more goals from corners this season than any other team in the league, I believe.
Yes, we have.
So, I mean,
believe
I
so.
always expect us to cause trouble from corners.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking of causing trouble, Joe Linton was being a bit of a dick all game, wasn't he, Nigel? I don't know. What did you make of Newcastle and Joe Linton and how they played?
Well, I think it's part of their kind of their makeup after they got a good run going to kind of put themselves around and get themselves in people's faces. Like it's basically what our lads do as well. I mean, Andy Robbo can be really, he can be. What's the word I'm looking for?
Tempestuous.
Oh, good.
Well,
one.
yeah, but like tempestuous towards the other team, we'll say. I'll throw in
snarky.
Narky. I'll take narky.
Maybe, or
I'll take narky. And Millie has been narky his whole life, I think. You know, he's not afraid to throw in a tackle, and he's not afraid to stand up to people either. You know what I mean? It's leaders in the team is what you need. And Newcastle got themselves out of the position, the predicament that they were in, and that's why guys like that guy that was diving against Everton last week, like looking like he was trying to dig holes rather than try and stand up for his teammates and face on to people instead of trying to dig holes with his nose.
He's trying to dig up what I don't know what Frank Lampard buried last week with his hind legs. Yes, absolutely is a good answer. Yeah, I mean they are just trying their best, aren't they? Luke, the picture's gone dark. I don't know if that's because it's now the night time in Australia, but I don't know. Are you still with us, Luke? Are you?
I'm here.
Okay, great, excellent stuff. So, I mean, nothing else happened in the first half. There was something I can show you on the screen, just our heat maps from the first half, because it's just quite nice to have a little look at this, just for the just for the crack, for the people who are watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, I'll try and explain. The top heat map is Newcastle, their entire team, where they just have a sort of splodge around about their left midfield area. That's where everything was concentrated for them, where they basically tried to whack it long to Alan Sam Maxima. That was their.
Oh, and your mic is down.
Oh, I don't know. Can you hear me now? Oh, is it better?
I can hear you.
I
Our
can
looked like
hear
a
you.
beautiful flower, I thought.
I can hear you, but I can't see a picture because I'm such a newbie that I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
Luke, we can see you
that
at the
makes
moment.
sense to
And you
everyone.
don't have any clothes on, it seems.
I am entirely naked, and believe me, you would be turned on if you saw me right now.
Do you have an OnlyFans?
Oh.
Well, there you go.
Negotiate later, okay?
We'll talk later, okay?
Yes.
What's within says Luke sinking another Castlemaine. Very good. Yeah, there you go. A Castlemaine XXX, maybe. Excellent stuff. But, I mean, I was.
Don't please. Sorry. Don't insult me with that Queensland beer. That is so horrible. Anyway.
Okay. What is your tipple, by the way, Luke? What's your?
My tipple is actually a German beer by the name of Ertinger Pilsner.
Very nice.
Which is all natural. I don't drink Australian beer because it's usually full of chemicals. But anyway, I digress. Australian beer is actually quite horrible, even though we have a reputation for drinking beer. It's full of nasty stuff. Anyway.
No. This is important to know. I mean, that's one thing that I never liked. I stopped drinking about 3 years ago because I drank far too much, and I don't regret stopping. Although I had a great time while I did it, I stopped because I wasn't very good at it anymore. Which is a quote from Billy Connolly, and that's kind of how I felt. I was just like no good at being drunk anymore, so I stopped. And but when I did drink, I recommend for all the drinkers out there, Czech beer. If you ever go to Prague and you have like a fresh Czech beer, it used to cost 28 pence for a pint, and it was damn good. But anyway, we are digressing.
Well, you are absolutely correct. If you're in doubt, drink Czech beer or German beer or anything brewed to the German purity law, because what you're actually drinking is proper beer.
Excellent.
There are no chemicals. There's nothing like put into it that will make you feel crook, as we would say in Australia, sick.
Absolutely.
You can't go wrong. Anyway, we've digressed. What were we actually talking about? I was
trying to show you some splodges, on the screen here, and basically the little splodge to the left of Newcastle's midfield, which is where they knocked it long to Alan Saint-Maximin.
Oh, green stuff.
And the green stuff here is Liverpool splodge, which is all over the field in the first half.
Do you know what I think of Alan Saint-Maximin? I think can anyone jump in and say, when I think of Alan Saint-Maximin, I think of Benny Hill music?
I know what you mean. He's sort of on fast forward, and yes, no, I know what you mean. I love the guy, though. I love watching him play. But no, I mean, basically, in a nutshell, we dominated that first half, and then in the second half, it was pretty good. We were counter pressing a lot. You know, I was counting the amount of passes that Newcastle were able to make, and they were able to make 0, and then 2. And then 0, and then 4, and then 0, and then 2, etc., because they just couldn't keep the ball. And Luke, that's what I wanted to ask you about, is just the quality in general, because this has been going on for a long time now, of our counter pressing. Whenever the opposition gets a ball, any opposition gets any kind of possession against us, we're so good at shutting them down and killing them straight away. How impressed are you with our counter-pressing game?
Well, I mentioned earlier that I am so impressed with the way Jordan Henderson plays the game, and I think he does not get the credit that he should get, because if we're talking defensive midfielders, it's always Fab. And Fabinho is fantastic. We all know that. We all acknowledge that, don't we? So that's not even coming into the equation about acknowledging people that shut down opposition attacks. But when Fabinho's not there and Jordan Henderson is the man, Jordan Henderson is freaking great. And he showed today, and I'm sure I mentioned it, and I should have, and we all should have actually realised that a Mackem playing against the Toon would have been man of the match. But I think that fact was lost on us. And for the whole game, Jordan Henderson was amazing.
Absolutely.
And his ability to cut the opposition out, his ability to ping a pass when it was needed. He's just a great footballer, is Jordan. Excellent. And he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And he should get that fucking goddamn credit that he deserves as a brilliant footballer.
I could not agree more. We're going to give it to him here on Cop On Podcast. Nigel, you're pointing to the screen. You're trying to get my attention. What's going on, Nigel? Don't forget to unmute your mic.
Sorry. I thought I saw Abdul celebrating there for a minute. I was wondering. I thought Leeds were after scoring a goal.
Nah, so there was a slip on a counter-attack from a City defender. Rodrigo Moreno's through pretty much one-on-one the entire half the pitch. And then, he just doesn't have the pace. The City defense gets back and he puts in a shot, but it was a weak shot. But it was a real chance for Leeds. It really could have been. It really could have been. But City have started very fast here.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it could have been.
I mean, I think I don't know. I don't know. If, I think we're gonna wrap things up again so that we can actually watch this match and put ourselves through another City win, perhaps. But because I've got all these notes on the second half of that. We don't need to go into. Let me just take a moment to remind you of Mo Salah's first touch. Which was a 70-meter pass to Diaz, which is absolutely phenomenal, and also Naby Keita's sublime little controlled pass down the right wing as well. So just a couple of things from the second half, and just how good we were. Fabinho all over the place when he came on, breaking everything up, and just well done to the Reds. So just one final question, Brian: what chance would you give us? What percentage chance would you give us of winning the quadruple at this stage? I ask you every week. I wonder if it's sneaking up and up.
One get at a time. Just on to the next game.
Yeah.
Champions League semis. Let's do that. Get it in the bag.
Dodging the question. I like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm not. I'm very superstitious.
Okay.
So I just let's take it a game at a time. But I'm as confident as you possibly could be at this stage.
Excellent.
With the exception of like City technically being slightly ahead of us in the league if they get their wins. Everything else we're doing what we need to do. We're saying what we need to say. The manager signed a new contract. The players are playing amazing. Everybody's fit, and everybody's talking about this team like it's the best team that's ever played the game. So if they could do this, how good would it be? And I don't know if any of you guys read. I read a quote supposedly from Jurgen earlier on the week, and he said, "People think that winning the Premiership was my best achievement, but my best achievement was making Man United fans support Man City." Which I thought was absolutely quality. So I'm just enjoying the ride at the moment.
Excellent stuff. And of course, we haven't, even mentioned, Abdul, the fact that Jurgen signed a new deal. My goodness gracious. Abdul, what do you reckon to that? I mean, give us your thoughts. I mean, at the end of the season, Klopp's on for another couple of years. The quadruple is still on. Just talk about whatever you want, if I can distract you from the Man City Leeds game for a moment.
So, I mean, it did feel like it was coming to an end too soon, the whole 2024 contract. I think everybody in the back of their mind was starting to get a bit edgy, thinking, surely not. Like, surely you can't just leave in 2024. But very, very glad that Ulla told Klopp, look, you need to stay. And now we've got a chant for her. So very, very happy. And just the feeling around the club just cannot be beaten right now. Without the trophies, in fact. So even if we don't win the quadruple, I think it will still be a very successful season, and people should look back on what we've achieved so far with pride. Hopefully, we do have the silverware to back it up. But just an amazing time to be a Liverpool fan. Like literally all the way top down. Like the owners, I feel don't get the respect that they deserve, but very happy with them. The stadium, where we're rebuilding certain stands each summer as it goes, so that's in a good position. The fans, they're all happy, apart from a couple of idiots on social media, but the majority of us very, very happy. We've got the best squad that we've ever had in our history, period. We've got the best players we ever had in our history, period, in my opinion. And I think the manager's there as well. The coaching staff is there. The academy is producing great talents. Like there's literally not one red dot on our sheet. So what a time to be alive.
Beautiful answer. Absolutely brilliant. Nigel, it's all positive, isn't it? It's all really good, no matter what happens from here on in.
As someone, I'm not sure the rest of you are old enough. Me and Luke are. Sorry, Luke. The rest of us, me and Luke would have seen Kenny Dalglish, Graham Souness, Alan Hansen. I'm not sure any of the rest of you would have.
I remember Alan Hansen. I was born in 1980, so just missed the glory of Kenny.
Yeah, well, I was born in 1972, so I saw Kenny basically from about 1980 up to about 1987, 88, in his absolute prime. Still my favourite player, still the best player I've ever seen. Hansen is probably the best centre-back I've ever seen. Souness is the best midfield player I've ever seen. From a Liverpool point of view, anyway. These guys could write themselves into immortality if they can do what we think they might. It's an incredible setup. Like, we have these flags on the Kop with Shankly, Paisley, Fagan, Dalglish, Rafa, Gerard Houllier, and Klopp deserves to be up there every bit as much for what he's done for this club in a short period of time and what he's won, even on the basis of what he's won in a short period. So all is good.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable. And Luke, thank you again for joining us for your Kop On debut. And you can have the final word, just basically how you're feeling in this run in. You go wherever you like with it. Just talk to us about this.
Look, I'll be honest. I'm sure you probably won't have me on here again.
Oh, you're welcome anytime, Luke. It's been a pleasure.
Seriously, what Nigel just said, you know, my childhood hero is Craig Johnston. And I was brought up on that 1980s era that Nigel just mentioned. And Nigel is absolutely spot on when he says that we never thought we'd see that success again, that era, that level of greatness. And it was a level of greatness that when you know about it, just you can't possibly think it could be replicated. But here we are in 2022. It's being replicated. And maybe not just being replicated, but being exceeded. We could perhaps be going past the greatness of Joe Fagan in 1984 and that treble. We could actually possibly be better than that. And that is amazing. As an Australian that grew up, you know, with all of this legendary Liverpool players from the 1980s, and believe me, you know, my family kept telling me about all of this greatness, so it was drilled into me. But I never got to see it. And I still haven't got to see it now because I'm 12,000 miles away. But witnessing it on television, seeing it, feeling it, it's something it's tangible. It's something you can't put into words. And I'm sure everyone hearing me and listening to what I'm saying understands exactly how I feel when I say that this football club means so much to so many people. And this year could be the greatest year in our football club's history.
Brilliant. Brilliantly said. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, Luke. Thanks so much for coming on. And yeah, I mean, even if it doesn't happen this year, because Abdul had his, you know, head in his hands there. So I imagine And I've just seen Man City have gone 1-0 up. But even if it doesn't happen this year, we can win a quadruple every other year for the next 3-4 years because Kloppo's not going anywhere. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you, Nigel. And thank you, Luke. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you to everybody who's watching on YouTube. And thank you to everybody who is listening, to the worldwide Cop On audio feed. Do tell your friends about it. Send us an email if you want to get in touch, coponpodcast@gmail.com. I mean, these are exciting times. These are heady days. We're still on Pep's heels for the league, where no team has ever been on course or in with a shout even of a quadruple at this stage. So I mean, we're breaking new ground, and it's pretty rosy where we are, isn't it? So thank you to everybody. You'll never walk alone. Take care, and we'll speak soon. Thank you.